Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are in Iron Man mode, and we're doing a blaster, Dr. Frost. And so you can see he's kind of got a retro sci-fi. Gave him a little backpack. He will obviously be flying, but his backpack also like generates the ice, right? And these little retro things are actually tubes that go like down into his gloves, and he blasts the ice out of his gloves. Um, I don't know why I made him magical. He's supposed to be tech, but we won't worry about that too much. So this character is going to be one of our Iron Man characters. I don't know how long he's going to last. One of the things I've noticed, and it's a little weird. So these are character items. These are account-wide items, and then your inbox for your global. These are our rules. If we defeat, we permanently delete the character. I've done that 3 times already. Once inside an instance, if we leave it for any reason, it's defeat. If we're in an instance and we level up and we've got the green up arrow, we get 1 free res, which I think we will have available after we get out of the tutorial. So this character will play until he dies, but here's a difference from our other characters. It seems like even though these inspirations are listed as character items, right? Once I claim them, they're not available anywhere else on the account. So the number of them has been going down and down and down. So one of the reasons that our Guardian lasted so long was I had lots of inspirations I could pull from email. This guy's going to have basically none. So I guess I never should have pulled anything out of the email. I'm going to leave them from now on because I want to have them available to my main character. So this guy is going to have to survive without any email inspiration, so that's going to make it harder. He's a blaster, so he has no defenses, and my guess is he's going to probably die fairly quickly. But we'll see how it goes. We're in the new tutorial. We're trying to do things differently. So our character is Ice. So Ice Blast and Ice Manipulation. It's great for slowing enemies. So each blast you try has like an element of slowing them down. And so that should actually work really well as we level up.
Enemy, left click on them or press tab. To attack, left
we
click
can
your power in the power
immobilize and then blast them, and they are slowed, right? That's, by the way, really cool graphics. It's one of the reasons I chose Ice Blast. It's got awesome graphics. And we run through here and we get to Blue Spectrum. And we're going to save his life. Yes, we're choosing to be a hero. And we leveled up.
Talk to the official nearby to increase your powers.
And then we are going to train up to the next level.
NPC to begin interacting
and I'm going to do Frost Breath. This gives us an AoE attack. This character is going to be just doing massive attack damage, and it is, kill them before they kill you. Move forward to deal with whatever is going on. So now we're going to defeat 15 Shivan monsters.
You are now in a zone event. You can work together with other players towards
Work together with other players is such a joke because there are no other players. Let's do some Frost Breath. Nice. One advantage of the ice is it does slow them down, so you can do some kiting. You won't see a lot of it yet because our powers aren't recharging very quickly, but as time goes by and we get new powers, if we live through it, we should be pretty good. Now, one thing we have to watch out for is the bombing runs that the airplanes are doing. Supposedly, if you're standing in there, you can get killed, but this is a tutorial, so I don't think you actually can be killed. Notice how we're taking these guys out in a single shot. Now, that's not going to keep happening, right? It's only because they're blue cons and it's a tutorial. But you can see, man, we do a lot of good damage. Blasters are the damage dealers. They do an amazing amount of damage. See if we can get this guy past level 9. That was our worst performance so far. Unfortunately, in the previous episode, which only lasted about 7 minutes, our Dominator, who was awesome up to that point, was killed by something like an elite boss. You can see how much damage this character will be putting out when we get to high levels, if we get to high levels. So now something is coming out, and we're going to have to defeat it. Alright, and this is the giant Shivan creature. Can I target it? This is going to be fun because he can knock us back. We just sort of stay away from him and try to attack him at range. Get as close as we have to, and then there we go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this thing. I'm not. Summon meteors, get out of the way, okay. I really hate this mechanic. Yeah, and it's very clear this is a very badly designed tutorial. Because if you're alone, this takes a really long time. They expected there to be 4, 5, 6 players at a time in here. And there aren't. When there aren't, it's really, like, just super tedious. This is a in my opinion, this is a horrible way to introduce new players to the game. They're doing this mechanic where you have to run out of the AoE zones. It's a very common mechanic in other MMOs that they then put into City of Heroes. But the thing is, you almost never need to do that in the game. So they're teaching you how to do stuff that only applies to the new content and doesn't apply to any of the old content, and even only rarely applies to the new content. Even playing all the new missions with some of my other characters, I rarely saw this mechanic. It only happens with like certain bosses. And it's like, so you're tutoring us on how to do things that we're almost never going to encounter in the game, but you're not tutoring us on the stuff that happens a lot. I feel like the other tutorial is much better than this. And I don't think I'm actually doing anything to it, right? I think what you do is you just wait. You just basically wait for the 5. You wait for the 5 passes of the jets, and those kill him. I don't know that you can actually do any damage to him. All right, let's go to Atlas Park, and now we meet Michael Habashi. And unfortunately, there's just no way to get away from his missions, so in all of our hero side Iron Man, you're going to just have to see that. Don't know how many more of these I'm going to do, guys. I think, I mean, Defender Controller maybe, Peacebringer. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do all of that. We haven't leveled up yet, so we can go this way. Do we have any enhancements? We just have, we just have these things. I always get rid of these. These aren't vanilla, so goodbye. And we're going to talk to Habashi. So what's the situation? He tells us about Galaxy City, and he wants me to go defeat 5 aliens. So this is a little bit more of a normal tutorial because it's showing you what you actually do in the game instead of the previous tutorial, which doesn't show you what you actually do most of the time in the game. We've got another inspiration box. We're going to have to keep a very careful eye on this because without inspirations, we're going to get our butts kicked. Even here, that's not good. Look at all these guys coming at me. But there we go. You can see that that is going to be something that we would want to enhance right away. We're doing tons of damage to these guys, which is great. Got some enhancements that are probably useless yet. And we've completed our mission, so let's go back to Michael. This guy's going to do amazing damage. The problem with Blessers is they kind of can't do much of anything else. He's got a few mezzes in here that'll be helpful, but they're not high priority. My high priority is getting a closed attack chain that we can use to do massive, massive damage, because we are going to have to kill things before they kill us. It's like having a scrapper with your toggles turned off. You can do a lot of good damage fast, but if you don't do that damage really quickly, you can get your butt kicked. By the way, so blasters have Defiance, right? And what Defiance allows you to do is um, allow you to do powers that are normally not available when you're held, slept, or stunned. And every time you attack with your primary power, you gain a stacking damage bonus. So we're going to want to get the primary powers in there. Even though this is a good one, we want to get the primary powers in there to get that stacking bonus. So now he's going to ask me to go and save people in Prometheus Park, and that is where we will go next. We're going to get flight fairly early with this character. I think maybe level 6. I want to get one more attack first, and then level 6 we'll get flight, and eventually hover. Yeah, this is super confusing because this isn't actually Prometheus Park, right? Prometheus Park is down here. So now we're fighting Hellions. Alright, so let's try this. So immobilize. Buckshots have lower range than a regular ranged attack, right? So if you want to, you can keep him immobilized. He might get the occasional shot off at you, but you can keep him immobilized and then just pound him from here. Now obviously you can't do it with only one attack in your repertoire. But you can see the massive amount of damage we just did. We do pretty good damage. It's nice. Really good damage, actually. So that's 2 civilians rescued. Who just shot me? Oh, this guy spawned behind me. Great. Again, this is another one of these zones where they changed the respawn time to be ridiculous. And so you can be standing there and a guy will spawn right on top of you, which traditionally in City of Heroes they're not supposed to do. But I won't keep talking about that. That's just broken record, so I'll stop. So the Fallen Gunners do have the same range we have. So Fallen Gunner, you can't like entangle and walk back and get out of his range without you being unable to attack. But once we have more regular blasts, we will be able to get the buckshots to leave us alone, right? Because their range is equal to this cone. And the cone doesn't have as much range as the regular blast. Yeah, I can't wait till I can fly with this character. Right, so you see how we're out of range with that? And I'm just going to let him go, actually, because we completed the mission. So he's fine. We're just going to go to the underground cavern. I don't know if the Hellions are more vulnerable to ice. They're like fire-based guys. I don't know if they're more vulnerable or less vulnerable to ice than somebody else. Let's take a look. According to this, we do 18 damage per shot, 7 smashing, and 11 cold, which is nice because most guys don't have cold resistance. So let's see how much damage we do here. 13 and 7. So they take a little bit more damage from the cold. No, I don't want that control click to go away. So we're going to level up very quickly here. I think we're going to see what primary powers are offered, but we may want to get another primary power to get this attack chain really going at level 4, but I don't know what they're going to offer. I don't think these guys have a snipe. Some blasters do and some don't. I believe there isn't a snipe for this character. But there is a build-up in the secondary as well as aim in the primary. And I think you might be able to stack those. I doubt we're going to live that long to try it, but I think you might be able to stack them. So I think this is one of the flaws, by the way, of the new tutorial setup, is everybody goes through the same set of initial starting missions, whereas the old way, when you came out of Outbreak, the old way... Is this guy aggro to me? Or is he going to leave me alone? The old way, you got 5 different starter arcs. They were small, but you got 5 different starter missions, starter arcs, depending on your origin. I'm really kind of annoyed that I made this guy magic. It was supposed to be magic, and then I changed it to tech, and I forgot to go back and change it, but we won't worry about that. Alright, so we need to get out and call Matthew. Again, I feel like this is a bad tutorial in the sense that this is one of only maybe a dozen missions in the entire game where you actually have to walk out of the mission. And that's because this isn't actually an instance mission. I think if somebody else comes in here, they might be in here too, which is why they keep respawning. So again, it's like, it's teaching you not how City of Heroes actually plays most of the time. Right? It's like, yeah, these missions, it's going to do this until you're level 7, and then once you get to the normal story arcs, none of the other missions are going to do this. So why are you training me to do something that I'm not going to do in the rest of the game? I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'm just going to run through these guys enough. You know, I don't think the map does anything. Right? The map is... because you're not really in an instanced mission. Alright, so let's call him. We found some artifacts. What's next? Go find out what the Hellions are up to, so we need to find their base. So how long have we been doing this? 17 minutes, so we can keep going for a while. We leveled up, but we're only level 3, and all it gets us is enhancement slots, so I'm not going to bother to do the leveling. Now, we're not, unless we level up again inside this instance, we cannot use a res, by the way. Let's go ahead and add some of these powers. We want to put rest on here. I can never get it on there when I try. I always have to do it kind of this way. And then somewhere in the account items there is a self-res. Return to battle. So let's turn this off and turn it back on. It should be in here somewhere. Right there. Okay. So now we are going to defeat Hellions until we find out where their base is. We know where their base is, of course. It's right under this tunnel, but you have to defeat enough of them. You have to defeat enough of them for it to say, yeah, you found them. You found it. And now we know where the base is. So I'm going to stop him so he can't chase me. And then run into the base. And we disguise ourselves as a Hellion. And then we don't have to fight anybody, and we're going to just head on down. No powers active in this mission. Yeah, again, it feels like it's teaching you to do things that you almost never do. You do this like 4 times in the entire game, as far as I know. There's one where you're a reporter, there's one where you're a freak show, and there's one other one that I was about to say, and now it's off the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it. But 4 times in 1,000 missions, you do this, and yet one of those times it's in the tutorial, which to me gives you a false impression that you're going to do this a lot. If you like this kind of thing, oh cool, I get to be disguised, yeah, you're going to be disappointed in the game because you only do it a couple times. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our sprint on. We'll try to thread the needle here so that these guys don't attack us, and we will call Habashi. Okay, And now we're going to go stop the Ritual of Souls, which is pretty close. Backpack's awesome. I don't think you can give it like a jet special effect though when you're when you have flight, unfortunately. And again, we didn't level up in this mission, so even though we have the up arrow, we cannot res in this mission if we die. We shouldn't die. Usually these low-level missions aren't going to kill you. But, you know, you never know. It can happen. You can see just how much damage we're doing to these guys. Well, when we hit... Yeah, you're not going to melee me. I'm going to untangle you. And I think just the entangle pretty much killed him there. Because it's doing ice and he's vulnerable. You can see we kill guys or arrest guys very quickly with this character. I feel like far more so than any other character I've done. I don't know if I've taken a scrapper through these missions. I think I did. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I took Psyop through, but you guys haven't seen that. Because I didn't record her stuff. Yeah, because Silver Phoenix went through the normal missions. She didn't do these ones. Alright, and then we talk to the computer, and then we find out that Michael Habishi's wife is here. I'm not going to listen to that. You guys have seen that before, so we'll head out. So his wife's still alive. He didn't know that, but now he does. Again, if you want to see that storyline, go watch the Guardian playthrough. I think we went through that whole thing. Your wife's alive, and that's the end of the story arc. Be introduced to a new contact. We got to roll a dice, right? So interact, decide. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. 1. Officer Fields. Okay, so we will head to him next episode, but this episode we'll finish up by going and getting our next slots. Oh, we are so close to leveling. How many XP do we need? 30? Well, let's level up. Are these guys ambushing me? I don't think there's an ambush at in this story arc, is there? Maybe there is. I mean, this guy might level me. Thanks, guys. We're leveled up. Level 4, so we get to go get slots and a new power. So let's see what they're offering. I might take flight if they're not offering anything other than the aim and the ice bolt. I just don't remember what gets offered at this point. They come in much faster than you can take them, but it might be that like a secondary unlocks at 4 because a primary unlocked at 2. So I just don't remember. So we're going to have to see. So let's do our dual level ups, and then we are ready to stop this episode, guys. Let's sell everything off. Down to only 1,000 influence since we're a new character. So obviously we want to start slotting these attack powers and level 4. So we can get Ice Bolt, we can get Ice Sword. I don't want Frozen. I don't want either of these. So I'm going to go ahead and actually let's just grab Ice Bolt. I mean, it's a low damage attack, but it recharges really quickly, and that should kind of complete our attack chain, or get close to completing it. Alright folks, we're level 4 on this character. We're almost halfway to where the previous character died. We have some more inspiration slots, that's good. We're going to have to keep an eye on these inspirations as we level up because there's nothing in the mail for us. So until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes Iron Man mode on the Rebirth server.